Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the program Business Time. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country, and my name is William Kumwembe. In the program today, we speak with government officials on the volatility of the Kwacha and its impact on commodity prices. Are they immediate remedies? This is a question we pose to government officials. And also in the program, banks lament impact of the situation and commit to contributing towards finding the solutions. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome, and we start with the main story in the program. On Monday, high-level meeting was held between officials from the Reserve Bank of Malawi, Minister of Trade, Minister of Justice, National Intelligence Authority, Financial Intelligence Authority, and many others to discuss ways of addressing forex scarcity in the country. The aim is to tackle the proliferation of the parallel market, exchange rate measures, among other things. With the forex surrender enforcement on business with foreign currency dominated accounts, businesses have lost hold of the forex they generate and struggle to access it back when they need it. From Lilongwe, Taonga Sabola caught up with the Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor McDonald Mafuta, who cited speculation as one of the key drivers behind the distortion.
Obviously, the issue of black market is linked to the black market. The black market is linked to the devaluation of the Kwacha, which is happening in the parallel market. I can tell you, as we sit here, the issue of devaluation is none that we are discussing now, because what we believe is the value of the dollar, which is official, is the value that we have to prescribe with. Anything out of that is speculative in nature, opportunistic in nature, and also even greedy in nature. Because as an average income in Malawi, we believe that nobody with our income levels can be able to buy the dollar at 4,000, at 5,000. What we have, 1,750, is the value of the dollar in Malawi, looking at the national income, looking at the average incomes in Malawi. So anything beyond that is speculative and trying to distort the economy. There is no economic fundamental that will really explain somebody buying the dollar at 5,000. In fact, most of these are just because of the social media, which is exacerbating the reports, but obviously we have to deal with that. We're discussing issues to do with the price escalations in the country that are not justified, and also looking at the issues surrounding the black market to consolidate our strategies so that we should see how we can arrest this situation from going bad. So we have discussed with all the relevant institutions, and therefore we are almost there to start now implementing or announcing the measures that we have come up with. Not for now to disclose, largely because some of them were still having clearances from the legal minds, but also some of them were expecting that they will be included in the budget statement, which the Honorable Minister of Finance is going to present that this coming Friday in the Parliament. Indeed, there are a number of issues that, as I said, I've presented to my bosses and I've presented to the ministers to see that we can do that, A and B, so that we arrest the black market, and obviously we also deal with the escalation of the prices. But as I said, a discussion is still happening to see how the legal minds can really fine-tune those issues. So today it was just a finalization of those strategies, but I'm not yet ready to announce, because as I said, I could be talking about issues that have already been included in the budget. So preempting the budget statement is probably something that I'm not ready with.
Now, due to the forex scarcity and market distortion, commodity prices have continually rocketed. This comes as Malawi remains a net importer, and any movement of the foreign exchange rate impacts commodity prices on the landscape. Now, Minister of Industry and Trade, Kumwembe, said there would be some strategic injection of forex into some businesses that import essential items as measures of reducing their cost of imports.
Oh yes, basically today we met our colleagues from the Reserve Bank, from the MRA, from the Financial Intelligence Authority, from the NIS, from the Competition and Fair Trade, and from Ministry of Justice, the Solicitor General and colleagues. The reason why we had to come together is to propose solutions which are multifaceted and coming from various institutions which are concerned with what is driving the price escalations on the market. And we have come up with quite some comprehensive list of measures that should be announced and implemented from the Ministry of Trade point of view. When we're looking at our issues to do with exports, when you're looking at our issues to do with imports, you know we need to incentivize exports, and there might be need to change some policies that have disincentivized exporters. But then also imports, we're also looking at that aspect in terms of essential list and non-essential list, and see how we can move forward. And MRIA brought in from their own angle how they would come in and make some changes and come up with ways of arresting the drivers of price escalation. So to the RBM and so to the other institutions that were with us this afternoon. Basically, this list would want to be part of the Minister of Finance statement when they are making announcements. So we will be submitting to the Ministry of Finance the measures which we think can help, and we should be able to expect announcements coming in on Friday on how this issue of price escalation can be addressed.
Banks have lamented the acute shortage of forex in the country, saying it is affecting all sectors of the economy. Bankers Association of Malawi First Vice President Nonkulichi said banking community is equally affected by the situation, hence positioned to contributing towards finding remedies. He was speaking on the sidelines of a breakfast meeting hosted by the Bankers Association of Malawi in Blantyre on Friday. He explains in this interview.
This meeting was quite crucial because we are trying to look at the several issues that are happening in the country, not only in Malawi, but as well as globally. We are talking of issues to do with the artificial intelligence, which is affecting operations. We are talking of the different disruptions that are happening. For example, we talk of the climate change. We are talking of all other challenges that the country is facing. So the intention was really to brainstorm and understand and appreciate what is happening and what we can do to move things forward. No, as a country, there are quite a lot that needs to be done, but for sure, I think we need to increase on our production. As we stand, forex situations is being exacerbated because we are more of importing than exporting. So what we need to do is increase on production so that once we do that, we should be able to export more and therefore realize a lot of foreign exchange and bring it on board. When it comes to issues to do with climate change, I think there's need from our side as banks to really start thinking hard that we need to start financing things that will improve our energy, things that will improve our climate, things that will make our climate, whatever we do, resilient to climate change effects. Obviously, banks have been hit hard because there isn't that flow of foreign exchange, and as a result, in turn, this is also affecting our customers. You find that on a daily basis, customers are failing to import, some essential stuff, some inputs, for example, just because foreign exchange is scarce. So that is really having an impact on the operations of the banks.
Malawi University of Science and Technology Vice Chancellor Address Malata delivered a keynote address on the global economic trends and reflections on the domestic front. We caught up with her in this interview.
In my presentation, I talked about issues that are happening now in the whole world, on the market, particularly looking at the geopolitical issues, because the world has changed. I think changes in the U.S. and changes perhaps in countries like South Africa, and also what is happening in Malawi. We all know that the economies are struggling and that people have to change. Our lifestyle must change. We must move from just consuming to producing. And I think this has been a talk for many years, for decades. It's time to act. I think what we say we must do. And it's possible. We must create capacity for people in our nation to produce products of quality, because it's not just production, but quality products that can go on the market in different sectors. So from agriculture, but also looking at other sectors. We have ceramics in this nation, now we have mining, we have many other sectors. What we need is to support individuals, people, and particularly for me as a head of an institution of higher learning, our young people. Our young people have ideas, they're very innovative. We need to ensure that we support them. And also production is not just about action materials, because there's also digital production. I mean, we have, some applications that can come from this nation and somebody can sell on the market. We can sell as much. I think what we've seen in other nations around the world is that people sell anything, everything. And I think that's what we need to do. We'll be inculcating in our young people, an entrepreneurial thinking, mindset from when they're young. And for me, I believe that the academic system in our nation needs to change. We must start teaching our young people to start thinking about production even when they're young. Pre-primary education, primary education, secondary education. Then we must also push on TVET, because TVET can help us to really push on production in this nation, and of course higher education where I belong. But all of us as a nation, we must change the way we think and do things differently, and maybe talk less and do more.
Reserve Bank of Malawi Deputy Governor Kisu Simwaka has hailed the country's insurance industry for its role in providing safety nets to key sectors of the economy. In his address at the Insurance Institute of Malawi annual charter dinner, Simwaka said amid economic bottlenecks Malawi has faced in recent years, the insurance sector has come in handy to provide cushions.
It is to demonstrate the role that the insurance sector is providing in the economy. It's one of the most important sectors, but of course we're aware that it remains small, both in terms of penetration, but also in terms of the contribution to the economy. So we need to sensitize people about insurance products and services that are available, that people can take up as a way of pulling services. Yeah, definitely one is to sensitize people about the importance of having access to the insurance products and how they can pool their savings so that they can help in building the economy, growing the economy, especially this time when the economy is facing a lot of challenges. So it's important that people should ensure that they have access to these services and participate in the development of the country. Well, I think that's a challenge to us that as a country, we need to raise that because it's very low. It means even it reflects in terms of our saving culture, that our saving culture is low. And therefore, if it's low, then it means that in terms of growing the economy, we are a bit limited because we can't grow due to limited savings. And therefore, it's important that these kind of products are able to go to as many Malawians as possible so that those Malawians are included in the financial services.
Insurance Institute of Malawi President Ruben Kamanga Kawelele highlighted significant challenges within the country's insurance sector, calling for innovative strategies to expand coverage and improve economic resilience.
It's very important to our industry, especially Insurance Institute of Malawi as the body, because we are grateful that our colleagues that are pursuing their careers in terms of insurance progression to chartered and fellowship, it helps us to understanding the products that we are selling. You should understand that our products are intangible products, so most of our services requires technical knowledge. So for them to graduate today, is that have acquired the knowledge in going forward, they'll be able to help our colleagues, our clients as well, and leverage the expertise that they've learned from institutions like South Africa and UK to have the better understanding of the insurance. to be honest, Malawi is doing very well in terms of CI exams. And in fact, we are topping the list of numbers of graduates that have been graduating from the UK border in South Africa. So in terms of the gap from the region, we are topping, we are okay, moving forward, and most people have got expertise. As you may see today, the number have gone down a little bit, but this has got nothing in terms of the number of people who have qualified. There are so many people that have qualified, but the young ones also, they are coming up. Maybe this is the only area that we have 2, but mostly we have 10 and maybe 10 or 12. But this time we had 2 and 3 diploma. But this is not worry to us because we know them. Most of them are qualified. Those are just upcoming youngsters. For us, insurance, most people are not aware that insurance gives you security, your financial security. You have got a house, the house is bent. I mean, you cannot find money to build that house. So when you put that house in insured, what it means that if a house is 60 million, if the house is bent, we'll give you 60 million to build that house. But the beauty is that the premium that you're paying is very little. I can give you an imagine, a 60 million house, a premium you pay around maybe 1 million, and the insurance company will pay you 60 million after the loss. So that gives a lot of stability to the economy and also to the people who have retired. I mean, their property, they may feel that their property is gone, but if they're insured, they'll be able to be paid, compensated after the loss.
Now, in other business news, the World Bank's International Finance Corporation and the Reserve Bank of Malawi launched a national public awareness campaign to enhance financial literacy awareness around credit reporting in January this year. The Credit Reporting Awareness Program, which runs for 6 months, aims at educating Malawian consumers and businesses on the importance of maintaining a good credit history and encouraging them to obtain their credit reports from credit reference bureaus. Dumisan Kadango is the country manager for TransUnion Malawi, one of the credit reference bureaus in the country.
Credit report is a document that shows information about you, where you borrowed before, where you're currently borrowing, and the current status of these loans that you have. So the link there is to say that as you're accessing credit in the market, we need to understand that the financial industry is already looking for information to say, who is this so-and-so individual? So us as credit reference bureaus like TransUnion, we are able to give such information out. Now, as you're accessing a credit report, you need to understand that this report is looking at information that talks about what kind of debt do you have. So the link there is to say that if people are accessing debt, people are in a market where they want to get more debt, a credit report helps us understand what kind of financial help or health do you have as an individual. Well, it's great to see that there's more places people can get credit in the market, meaning that the credit keeps on growing as a nation. And as to say that people's credit now, you can see that they're accessing it from different organizations. In terms of our health as a nation, I would say that we are at a point where we need to get better in terms of understanding our report. So I'm not saying that the credit is bad, but we need to understand that the more we're able to access our credit reports and understanding what is our status, we'll be able to have a place where we know that, oh, I'm a person who has borrowed and this is the kind of report that I have. So as a nation, I say that we're doing better because these reports you can actually see to say that people are borrowing and they are paying on time. So in terms of defaults, that's more of the banks and the lenders to talk about. But us as TransUnion, we advise that you have conversations with your lenders as soon as you can when something's about to happen, because this affects the report that I'm talking about that we provide to the banks. If you are having struggles or problems with defaulting or paying on time, you need to engage your lender as soon as possible. Us as credit bureau, we're just there to report what has happened in the market. And this is why we thank the Reserve Bank and the IFC coming up with this awareness program. People don't understand that they can access a credit report. If people don't know, you're able to access one free report from the credit bureau, and this report is able to let you know your status of your health, of your finances. Now, we need to understand that as a person who is trading in this market, whether you're a business person, whether you're an individual, the report is something that is personal to you. Because it has your ID there. It has your personal information. So people coming through to come and check our reports is maybe they were not aware that these reports are important for them. But we are here to tell them that you can access the report from our offices at any time whenever you need them before you access credit.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program, Business Time. This is a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Thank you for watching, but always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Stay safe and bye for now.